Hey everyone, Sam Davidson here with MEA Worldwide, and I am sitting here with Jenna Lyng Adams. How are you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah. So guys, Jenna has been on the Kominsky Method for 2 seasons now. Yes. Loving your role. It's so funny.
You.
The second season is fantastic, and it is of course available for all of you guys to stream on Netflix right now. So tell me a little bit about landing the role and how it was pitched to you and if it grew more than you thought it would throughout the episodes.
I mean, definitely in the second season, my character has been given a lot of meaty stuff, which I am so grateful for. It was so much fun going into it. Season 1 was really fun because I'm also a filmmaker, and so going in as an actor performing her own script was hilarious and very meta in so many ways. But yeah, I first heard about it and I was like, oh cool, it's like the new Chuck Lorre comedy, like Michael Douglas, Alan Arkin's in it, all these amazing names, like it'd be so cool. Went in, I did my scene, and you know, as actors have so many auditions all the time, I kind of just forgot about it.
Right.
And then a few weeks later, I found out that Chuck wanted to have me come in again and do the scene for him, and I was like, oh my god. But it was really exciting. So yeah, I haven't really done a lot of comedy before, and I think it was one of those instances of like, oh, you think that you're not really right for something because you haven't done it, and then once I started working on the show, I was like, oh man, this is so much fun, and I'm learning so much from Michael and from Chuck, like amazing actor and writer, and it was just such an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like the show is very meta in a lot of ways, especially for actors that are in the show. I mean, your character specifically, along with Emily Osmond's character and a bunch of the other actors that are in Sandy's class. Yeah. You know, it's like you are learning how to act from Michael Douglas, but also through this character, Sandy Kominsky. Tell me a little bit about the experience in learning on set. Like, did you ever actually feel as though you were taking an acting intensive from Michael Douglas himself?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean, and it's not just while the cameras are rolling too. It's, you know, in rehearsals, it's seeing in between takes, adjustments that are being made, and I've just been soaking everything in. It's been just a privilege to be on set, and it's been so much fun. Everyone's been amazing to work with. It's really like a dream scenario, honestly. And also, part of like this studio way of working too, where, you know, the student characters, we take turns performing monologues and scenes, which is very similar to an acting class. And so, you know, one episode my character might be doing a monologue, or the next episode Emily's character is doing a scene, and we are really there for each other like a class would be too, and supporting each other, like, okay, this episode this person's performing, and like we're reacting and we're into it, and you know, in between takes we're like pumping that person up, and it really does feel like a class in that sense. And we're also performing in front of like so many people because we have all the other students there, all of our awesome extras, and who are mini recurring extras as well, and the crew is there, so it does feel like you're in this theater performance space, which is amazing.
That's so cool. And I loved where they took your character this season. She's definitely a force to be reckoned with. So one of my favorite episodes was when you kind of had your big performance and you and Michael Douglas's character kind of butt heads because he's telling you you're not really being real. Tell me a little bit about how you related to your character in that moment, in that way. Like, is there any kind of moment that you can pick out from your acting training or experience where you felt that same way?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think something that happens a lot in acting classes is, you know, whoever is the teacher or the guru, for lack of a better word, you know, they try to break you down in order to like build you back up again. And the amazing thing that Sandy's character, which I think is, you know, really the right way of doing that as an acting teacher, is to break the person down and help them build themselves up and learn how to get to the essence of who they are and the ugly sides of who they are, their ugly experiences, and learn how to pull from that and not just have this facade of like, oh, I'm gonna go through the motions of acting, but I'm not gonna get at any like raw emotional truth here. And I've definitely had that experience in acting classes as well, and in my own work of not being afraid to go into the ugliness of it all, because that's also what's interesting and it's what's human in performance.
And I mean, the Kominsky Method, what would you say is the actual method, and what method in real life? You know, obviously we have Stella Adler, we have Meisner. Which one would you compare it to, or would you kind of say it's a combination of some of those things?
I would say it's a combination. I think what we keep coming back to on the show especially is grounding everything in just human universal truths and human experiences, and not being afraid of the raw stuff and the painful stuff, and that's what makes us human. And also in the first season, Alan Arkin comes in and has this amazing monologue and basically says to us, like, being human is being in pain, and that's what life is. So if you want to show that, like, just get in touch with your pain, basically. And I think the Kominsky Method is a comedy, but it pulls in like all of this like beautiful drama, which I think is so hard to do, and they pull it off so well. I mean, the writing is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I actually didn't initially want to start the show because I was thinking how sad. This is about a man that, is like just lost his wife and all this, but it is truly so funny.
Yeah.
Tell me something that Michael Douglas kind of either taught the class or kind of told you, if it was any advice or just like a really good memory that you're going to take with you for a long time.
Oh man, gotcha. I feel like there's so many things.
Is he as amazing as he seems?
He's wonderful. He is so kind and really generous as a performer, and he's the star of the show. And in the scene in the second season where my character has this breakthrough, and it's a really traumatic scene for her, and it's very emotional. Obviously, that's a lot as an actor to dig into, but it was really exciting to dig into it. And he was just so generous as a scene partner, and really made sure that I had what I needed. Did a lot of my coverage first, and definitely didn't need to do that, but it was so appreciated, and like I felt very, very comfortable and very taken care of by him and by my other castmates and by the team. So
it was actually funny because as I was watching there's the two scenes, the first try where you think you killed it and you didn't, and then the second try where you totally kill it. As an actor, are you purposefully acting not, trying not to be as good of an actor in that first take? Like, how do you do that? Because it was still really good.
Oh, thank you. It's interesting. I definitely thought through it before. I'm like, okay, I'm coming into this. I'm not trying to do what's been done before. She's taking this, and in her perspective, like, what is a cool way to do this? Which, as Darshani, before she has her breakthrough, the cool way of doing it is making it campy, is doing this detached thing where she's like, oh yeah, like horror stuff. This is the way that
hipster.
Is me. Yeah, and so her approach to it, once I'm coming at it from her, it's like, oh, there it is. Okay, and then it just feels like really natural as her, and then having that moment of like kind of record scratch, like, oh wait, that wasn't good. Like, you didn't like that, you don't get it, kind of. Finding those beats. And then I think for the second monologue that was August Osage County, just coming at it from a really real and grounded standpoint versus coming at it through her old method, just having that switch there, which was really fun. Really fun to have that flip.
What a gift as an actor to kind of be going through all of this training and have that be part of your role. That's so cool.
It's amazing.
And one of the things I really loved about the second season is that there are essentially two different big storylines. There's the thing that goes on in the class with Sandy and then his outside world. But this season we kind of see the two start to creep in together because there's some stuff going on with him, and he might not really be able to be keeping it up like he did before. Can you tell me a little bit about how you think the second season starts really mashing these two worlds up more so than it did before?
Yeah, I feel like Sandy's character in the first season definitely kept it separate. I think thematically the things that tied in together, that was like him going through something, and here are these standout moments of, oh, this is feeding into his real life, but only he knows it. Whereas for the students in the second season, we start being aware of his situation. And it is kind of like a family. I mean, acting classes do oftentimes in studios become like that. And so us just showing that we're there for him, like there's this moment of when we all find out that he's going through treatment and we're hugging him and he's like, I don't know what's going on here. But there is just this, real love for our teacher and our guru, and, they all sort of worship him in this like cute way.
Especially you two. You start to worship him a little too much.
I know. There's a little confusion, I think, in Darshani's head on what kind of teacher he should be. So she does try to cross the line once there, and he definitely puts this, lays down the line.
Well, it's funny because last season, I'm not so sure he would have. I think maybe he would have gone
things
for it.
Things are changing for him.
Which is so much fun to watch. And the season ends, not to give away spoilers, but it ends in a way that it's very open-ended, and I was kind of like, what No more?
I know.
No more episodes? I need to know.
I know.
So obviously I know that you're not involved in the creating and the picking up of Netflix and all of that, but how do you kind of hope that his story continues on and hopefully involves like more of the characters like you guys, hopefully in the next season?
Hopefully there's a next season. We're all crossing our fingers. Yeah. It's so fun to work on. I would love to see Sarah Baker's character, who plays Sandy's daughter, Mindy. I would love to see her getting more hands-on in the studio and like turning it into kind of her own thing, like as he passes the torch to her, to the next generation. She started doing that in season 2, which was really fun to see. I would love to see, like, obviously Sandy getting through his treatment and having some, like, glimmer of hope at the end of all of this. And it also is really fun to see Alan Arkin and Jane Seymour's characters' relationship. It's so much fun. So obviously would love to see more of them. And also Alan Arkin's character's Norman's relationship with his grandson, played by Haley Joel Osment, which was so fun as the Scientologist grandson.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was the best. I mean, there's just so many good storylines. I just want to see them keep going forever.
And I need like spin-offs. Yeah. We can do web series. We can do a Darshani web series.
Oh yeah, Darshani spin-off. She books a job and has to go like be a movie star. That'd be great.
I know, it'd be amazing. She'll just be like chain smoking and drinking black coffee all the time.
Yeah, chaos ensues. Done. It's sold.
I love it. Well, can you just share a memory over the past couple of seasons that you've had, whether it was like a blooper or just kind of something on set where you and another cast member really just like bonded, something you're going to put in your little memory box?
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
You can give a few.
Okay. I'm trying to think. On the spot, best memory from Kominsky. Okay, this isn't a funny one, but after the first take for my breakthrough scene, it's season 2, episode 3, I went out and we did rehearsals and everything, but I hadn't done my whole scene in front of everybody. And, we went through the entire scene, all through. We didn't just, break it up. We did the whole motion because it kind of needs that fluidity to, work through it. And so I went through, we had all of our extras, all the cast, all the crew, that's a lot of people watching. And I was just I was really excited and really just I kind of had this buzzing energy. And it was just such a privilege to be able to have that scene and just be working through something that has such depth and is so meaty. And I did the first take. And then our director, Andy Tennant, called cut. And there was this couple moments of silence, and then everyone broke out in applause, and our extras and our crew and our cast, and it was just oh wow, that was amazing. It was an amazing feeling, and it did really feel like an acting studio at that time, and just it felt like a family. So.
And what is next for you? Because I know you also are a filmmaker, and that's really kind of how you started out in this industry, right?
Yes, I've been mostly working in production for the last, however many years. But as a producer, as a writer, I did a lot of branded content and music videos, casting work in commercials, and also I've been, the last few years especially, had more time to focus on my writing, and I just sold a pilot to HBO Max, and so I'm working with them on developing a show as a creator and as a writer and producer, which would be, amazing.
Any chance you can slip yourself into any of those, or you kind of try to keep them separate?
I definitely want to eventually get to the point where it's my show and I'm acting in it and I'm writing in it, kind of like a Fleabag type situation.
Yeah, I'm
love that.
No offense to Lena Dunham, but better Lena Dunham kind of,
I'll take it. But I'm working on that now. And then I'm also, I have an upcoming episode on SWAT, which will, I think, premiere towards the end of the year. I literally cannot say anything about my character without giving something away. So I will post on my social about when that's coming out.
What about your HBO Max show? Can you tell us what it's about at all?
Yeah, so it's about a young woman who lost her fraternal twin sister and how it affects her life as she's leaving college and starting out life and her family and friend group. And it's actually a dark comedy about death. So it is funny, but it does pull at your heartstrings a lot.
So from what you know about HBO Max, out of curiosity, that's what it's HBO Max, is that what it's called now?
Yeah.
How does it actually differ from HBO? Is it skewed towards the younger generation? Is that what it is?
It's going to have a broader audience. Obviously, I'm not an HBO Max rep, so I can't say exactly what they're doing. But what I do know is that they are, bringing in a wider range of content. So the audience will be broader in that sense. So yeah, I hope we can pull in some younger audiences too. And then also I'm leaving in like 24 hours. I have to pack. I'm doing a indie horror thriller out in the Virgin Islands, actually on a yacht.
So vacation.
Yeah, so it's a little work vacation, I guess.
That's awesome. Well, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And guys, if you haven't yet, please binge season 2 of the Kominsky Method on Netflix. You're gonna love it. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.